So that is why, to me, it's the time to teach ethics. I call it the 21 virtues. And I don't know if you saw the development of all the drawings, but in the beginning it was a child under the sky with a moon, and by now they're harvesting their apples. What is the program? It's a program where I do a little bit like Animal Planet. You know the TV channel, Animal Planet? I present something incredible from nature. For example, I'm telling the children, there is this plant in Africa. It's the oldest plant in the world. It's 2,000 years old. It takes 70 years to germinate the seeds. And that plant is a plant that only has 2 leaves in its life. But it lives in the desert. But it has the capacity to take out the dew in the morning in the desert, where it doesn't rain for 7 years, and sucks up the little moisture down in the soil. And it gives life to everyone, but everyone has to eat their leaves, because that's how they get the water and the minerals, because the dew has no minerals, and life is not only water, it's water plus the minerals. And so that's about all I have to tell. And I say, what virtue do you recognize in that plant? And the children debate about virtues. Oh, this is perseverance, this is sharing, this is sacrifice, this is intelligence. You know, they see a lot of virtues. And I asked them to agree amongst themselves, what's the greatest virtue of this incredible plant that's the oldest living plant on Earth? 2,000 years old, on average. Living in a desert where there's nothing. And when they've agreed on the virtue, then I asked them to identify in their local community a person who has that virtue. And it's interesting, the children very quickly find 1 or 2 persons. Not TV personality, local person. And they recognize, and it's either the bakery, or it is the shop where they get their bikes repaired, or it's the sales team from the Apple store, whatever they find out. But they identify the persons who have that virtue. And then we ask them to go and meet that person and write a 1-page essay on that person. And they write an essay, and they repeat that 21 times. And then the children publish their book with the 21 virtues and their 21 heroes in their local community. Now what happens to the children? When the children bring out the book with 21 virtues and 21 people from the local community, the community thinks the children have those virtues. That's how psychology works. And when the children are projected those virtues, they haven't. They haven't. We started this program first in Colombia, in a zone controlled by drug barons, drug lords. Within 5 years, the community turned around. Because the drug lords will go and kill the mayor. But when there are 30 children recognizing the guy in the bakery, they're not going to kill the guy in the bakery. But that's how you build social tissue. One of the most important things we need in society is social tissue. No social tissue where we care and respect each other, appreciate, know that together we're so much better. Society cannot advance. We become lonely, and we see suicide rates going up. Because we're too lonely. We don't connect anymore as a society. And here, we really create a lotus flower. Because by the 6th stage of our education, we're building up the own world of the children. And then society is being born and improved. I can start at 3, I can do this until 18, 20, but the story of the 21 virtues, there's the book. That's the guidebook for the teachers. Is, you know, how, and we share virtues that are always coming back. And guess which virtue is nearly always, and it's amazing, I've realized that when it goes through the program, you kind of always have the same results. Everywhere in the world, Brazil, Japan, Egypt, South Africa, the last and most important virtue that the children will be very keen to put in the book. I want you to get it. The virtue of love. Better. Before love. Peace. Gratitude, that's part of it. Sharing. No, then you're all right. They're all part of the virtues. But something higher. How do children start? Higher. A little child is full of dreams. You will have the children when they're leaving high school. They want to ingrain and they want to have the virtue of dreaming. The capacity to dream. Amazing. We as adults, we wouldn't come up with that. Because we don't dream enough anymore. We've given up too much of our dreams already. But the children will say, we need to maintain that virtue of dreaming. That capacity to look at fantasy, vision, reality. But we have to dream. But it's interesting that across cultures, that's why I said Japan, South Africa, Egypt, Brazil, the same one comes up. Where the children want to reaffirm, because it's like we're going now from high school to university. It's over. And you know, we remember more when we graduate from university than we graduate from high school. Because we were involved in life. But for them, at that moment, the dream is important. Now, the first one that comes up very often is sharing responsibility. Not sharing, sharing responsibility. It's beautiful. I'm not the only one in charge. Don't put it all on my shoulders, but I'll do my part. In Spanish, it's called co-responsabilidad. Co-responsibility, sharing responsibility. The last slide. To me, this is still one of the greatest wisdoms I've ever had. Antoine de Saint-Exupéry. If you wish to teach children how to build the best sailing boat, don't teach them how to make a boat. Tell them stories about the magnificent voyages they will make, and then the best boat ever will be built. Le Petit Prince, the Little Prince of Saint-Exupéry, inspires so many. And there's so many stories that I know you can add from your Chinese culture to